And there we go.
Are we live? I like to pull it up on my phone just to make
sure that I didn't mess it up.
Yeah,
I'll make sure
we're a live viewer.
Done too, because that was an issue with the last one.
Hey, I just got a notification from YouTube that we are live.
Ooh, this is our first time on YouTube, Rick. We've never done live streaming on YouTube.
Yeah.
Along with our live stream on Facebook.
Look at that. Wait, let me check out what it looks like on YouTube.
I'm going to step out for a minute and start a watch party, so I'll be right back.
A watch party?
Yeah, that's what she's been doing. So she puts it out on her social media. She has a couple different platforms that she has that Get Good Musically website.
Oh, yeah.
He also has a group of band directors that follow a certain group, where we put it out to that so that we can get the word out that people should come watch our party. It's a party. Hey, everybody that's joining in. Hey, this is Richard at Bright Music Center. Look at that. Is that
live on YouTube? Look at that.
Yay. So that's awesome. So welcome, everybody. Coffee Conversations, episode 32. I'm still making up numbers.
I thought it was, 37. No.
So we are here from Bright Music Center. Jen's here, Beth's here. We have a special guest today from Conn, Selmer, Rick Hanby, who is our rep. How long have you been with Conn, Selmer?
23 years.
23 years. And how long have you been our reps?
Since 2008.
2008. I thought it's been a while. I mean, you've been with us for a long time, which is awesome. So Rick is the guy that comes around and tells us about all the new cool products from Conn, Selmer, and helps us do training and helps us get stuff done that we need to get done. So what have you been up to over the COVID-19 break?
Well, it's kind of odd. When I'm not on the road visiting dealers like you, I serve 7 different states for Conn, Selmer. Right. So I take care of Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee, West Virginia, half of Pennsylvania, and now all of Indiana. And I just got added Michigan because we had a bit of a restructuring internally. So when I'm not home, I'm in my home office like here and, doing all the paperwork things and that. So the paperwork things are still there, but Conn, Selmer, because of social distancing requirements at various facilities, is pretty much shut down. We have a factory in Eastlake, Ohio, outside of Cleveland, and even though it's a 160,000 square foot factory, it's still hard to practice distancing in that environment because people hand things to other people, and some of the work cells and some of the benches are close together. So it would take a massive reconfiguration to try to get that to work, which I began thinking yesterday, as we come out of this, we'll have a lot of logistic things to get the plant up and running. When they shut down a big facility like that, even for the summer vacation break, it takes a while to bring it back online. So I'm trying to imagine what that's going to involve in this environment where you have to take additional precautions and things like that. So we do have shipping staff and maintenance staff on hand at that facility, as we do in Elkhart. In Monroe, North Carolina, where we make all the Ludwig drums, that facility has remained open because the laws there have been a bit different, and we're able to practice the distancing quite easily. It's a much smaller staff down there. There's probably, 20 people maybe working in that facility, and they're spread out enough that they don't have to have contact with each other as the day goes on. So dealers are ordering product. Customers are buying a few things here and there. You have the curbside drop off. I mean, as you and I were talking yesterday, Richard, about selling a trumpet, I'm sure that transaction will involve something like the French horn I delivered the other day. I called the person I was swapping it out with and said, all right, I'll set it outside my van, and then I'll get back inside my van and I will call you, and you get out of your van and pick it up and put it in yours, and we'll talk through the transaction. And that's exactly what we did. So you got to find creative ways to make it happen, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what we're doing, right? So we are exactly doing that. So if somebody needs something, we are doing curbside, and we open the door and leave it there, and they pick it up and walk away.
And we wave at each other and
maybe thank you, and you know, and that's what we do. So yeah,
right.
it has been a very interesting shift in how things are going to be able to do this. And you know, we in Pennsylvania just got the order yesterday that as of Sunday, any place you go, you have to wear a mask.
I think we're just about to that here as well. And so before I got on the call, I've been scrambling to try to figure out where to get a mask. Because of course, you know, whether it's Amazon or any other online platform, you can't find a mask under $700 or some ridiculous thing like that, you know. So, and I'm not really a good seamstress, sewer person, tailor. I can't do that kind of stuff. But I did find a plan you can take an old t-shirt and cut it out, and you don't need elastic or anything. If you cut it out the right way, you can just tie it around your head and look like the Easter bunny with half a t-shirt wrapped around your face. So there you go.
Yeah, I've seen ones with like the bandana, coffee filter, and like 2 rubber bands, and that one looks simple enough.
I did make one of those to take stuff over to UPS yesterday. So yeah.
My daughter actually, I enlisted her to start making some masks for us, just so that we can have masks to go out with. But we actually, one of our suppliers, Gator, actually came up with the fact that they were going to make masks. And
I saw that.
Yeah, so that was great, right? So they announced it. I went on and ordered it. That was the same day that the CDC said, you know, everybody needs to wear masks. So I ordered 24 masks. I got 1. So.
Well, I put the order together, and then when I saw it was going to be like end of May before I get it, I thought, well, I'm just not going to do that. I'll try something else.
Yeah, if you look at, we looked on Amazon last night, and it looked like everything was at least 5 to 6 weeks. And
yes.
Hey, what are you going to do there? Now, I was down at the coffee shop today, Holly Grounds. Anyways, and they were like, no, we're not wearing masks. I'm like, you have to. It says in the rules you have to. No, not doing it. It's like, okay. So
everybody is funny. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it really depends on where you're at and all that kind of stuff. But so anyways.
And Rick, you're in Ohio, correct?
I am. I'm in Central Ohio, right?
Okay. So my son has had a unique experience living.
Oh, is he still over at Capitol?
He is not. He's home now, but he pays very close attention, and of course, most of his social media feed is from Ohio. And as we've been going through this, obviously, Governor DeWine took very early and very aggressive actions. And Noah has been saying that he and Governor Wolf must be in some competition because Governor DeWine will make a mandate or make a statement about how we're going to proceed during this health crisis. And Noah always says, and Governor Wolf goes, okay, well, hold my beer. I'm going to do him one better.
Yeah, it's I feel pretty fortunate. Governor DeWine and I don't share a lot of common interest or thoughts about life, the universe, and everything. But I will tell you, he is a complete and utter rock star in terms of managing how we've responded to this pandemic. He and the director of health for the state got out in front of this early on. And I was out in the territory the first week of March. And here in Central Ohio, they have a big event that Arnold Schwarzenegger began called the Arnold. It was a big bodybuilding, weightlifting, sports event that over the decades has morphed into this huge thing at the convention center with multiple events in multiple venues with people from over 60 countries and a very large convention floor with vendors and all sorts of things. It brings something like 180,000 people to Central Ohio, and they shut it down. And I was on the road and I thought, wow, that means a lot of money. And that's big. And so that was very early on, like the first week of March. And I was still out on the road. And when I got home, I thought, wow, these guys are serious. And one thing led to another, and here we are. And I thank them for taking that proactive action, because we still have kept pushing this thing out farther and farther and flatter and flatter. I mean, even though we still don't know who has it or who's going to get it or where it is or what it is, any of that stuff. At least we've been spared a real crash onto the healthcare providers. So it's been really good in that regard.
And I know that they canceled Summer NAMM, and now with this new thing from Los Angeles saying he doesn't see concerts coming back until 2021. I mean, that probably is going to impact Winter NAMM too, just because 150,000 people in that little area. I mean, who knows if they're going to allow that at this point? But that's looking off into the future, and nobody knows where we're going as far as that goes. I think everybody's going to be wearing masks all summer.
I think so. And then you think about the summer venues like Ravinia outside of Chicago or Blossom outside of Cleveland, where you have summer concerts and that sort of thing. We've been staying in close touch with a lot of our artists as well as our dealers. And, our business is kind of unique, or at least we all feel that way, right? Because one of the things we try to do is tighten everything up and communicate a whole lot more to figure out how we all keep this thing moving forward, whether it's instructing youngsters or playing professionally in an orchestra or providing the goods and services that we all need. So we're all talking to each other all day, every day, trying to find ways that we know we're going to be okay on the backside, but we just got to figure out how to get from here to there. And the kind of thing that you're doing here is, I think, really important. We're going to have a lot more instruction happening this way. You and I are going to have more interaction in terms of the way we do business this way. I mean, there's going to be a lot of changes come out of this.
Right. Yeah. Speaking of which, what is Conn Selmer doing as far as training and stuff like that, online stuff?
We have a daily conversation, if you will, but we have a daily presentation for our dealer base that is real informative about the products, about what we're doing. We've had a lot. This is Artist Week, so we've had a lot of really great artists come on, and a few more for the rest of the week. Next week's schedule will come out probably Friday. We'll have that out. So we're just trying to stay in touch with our dealers. Many of the states aren't nearly as rigorous in shutting things down as we are here. Not many, but some. Others are more rigorous than what we are here. So the people that I serve run the gamut from nobody's home, the door's locked, the shutters are closed. We're not talking to anybody, to people that have a skeleton crew on staff that is able to ship and receive and, post rental payments and things like that. So, we're just trying to help each other figure out how we're going to get through it.
And Rick, I know that the Conn Selmer Institute was supposed to be in early June. Would you mind telling us a little bit about what the Conn Selmer Institute is and how you are adapting to the situation, the health situation at hand?
Oh, sure. We just got some guidance on that yesterday. The Conn Selmer Institute, we used to call it Conn Selmer University, but since it's not really a university, it's probably better named Institute, right? And it's a very intense, I think it was a week long, or at least 4 days of seminars, activities, presentations for college students getting ready to graduate, first and second year teachers, experienced teachers, music administrators. There's several different tracks, learning tracks that are involved there. And it's taught by some of the best music educators in the country. And we have a large stable of people in the Division of Education that are involved in producing the content and delivering it at Conn Selmer University, which is held in Goshen, Indiana, on every summer. We can't do it this year, right? So it's going to be virtual. And on June 7th and 8th and 9th, I believe, we're going to be having a virtual CSI. And I'll get that information out to you when we're done with the conversation. In fact, I was just editing an email kind of describing what the format's going to look like. and what the registration, how to register, how much the registration is, and all that sort of thing. So those details I'll have to you by the end of the day today. But we're going forward. We're doing it just like we're doing this conversation here. We had a seminar yesterday on presenting webinars and all those sorts of things, to get a lot of folks up to speed on, you don't want to have the cat walking around behind you and, the kids barging in the door and all those sorts of things, right? So kind of working on all the techniques to make it look as professional as you can in this environment.
Right. And I'm just going to name drop for some of the people who might be watching. Conn Selmer Institute, Richard Saucedo's involved, Dr. Tim Letzenhauser's involved, Frank Troika's involved, Nola Jones is involved. And I know that the few educators that I've met, like long-term educators, who may have been considering changing careers, maybe stepping out of teaching, this experience when they've been able to experience the Conn Selmer Institute has completely changed their thoughts and their minds. They akined it to like a fountain of youth. They felt renewed and refreshed. And for we have a music education student that will be entering the workforce, and I know Noah has gone for 2 years and is he's gone for 2 years and never walked away without his mind being blown. So it's an awesome experience. So find out all the information you can about it, and they can contact Conn Selmer directly, right? There's a Conn Selmer Division of Education that they can get a hold of too.
Right. I'll have that to you this afternoon, and you can pass it on to your customers about how to register. And
Perfect.
it's really easy. There's going to be a link on the email that hooks them right up. For a lot of those first year teachers and a lot of those folks coming just out of college, it's a lot of the things that you pick up at this event are things that you don't learn in university. It's not part of the standard curriculum. They're tips and tricks from people that have done it for years and know how it works. And for those that have been in for a number of years and are kind of getting worn around the edges and need a recharge, you're absolutely right. Boy, it's like 20 shots of espresso right directly into the veins. I mean, it's like it gets you ready to go, and you can't wait to get back and start working again. It's a really wonderful experience.
And I'm sure that they're going to be focusing, somebody's going to be focusing on the online content and stuff like that. I'm sure that's going to be something that everybody's going to be looking at going forward, is how you engage students in this new realm, and so
absolutely. And then you start thinking about that and all the different ways you can go. Now you start talking about, okay, what do I need to up my game? What do I need for gear? Do I need some new microphones? Maybe I need a new light. Maybe I need a new headset. Maybe so there's a lot of different things that begin to creep into how we're going to do this going forward, not just with the technology and the platforms, but with the actual gear we're going to need to make it work really seamlessly.
Right.
Yeah, we're going to be putting up some stuff that we're going to be getting in as far as doing like live streaming from home. So like different microphones, like ring lights and stuff from IK Media. So, we're going to be trying to push that as best as we can as well to help everybody.
I think having those products to help people is going to be really important because, as I said earlier, we're not done operating this way. And I think when we find out how easy and effective it is, it'll go forward. You think about chemistry class. You need to get together maybe in the lab to do experiments and things, but you don't all need to be together all the time. And I think we're going to find a lot of learning happens that way. You can do things remotely, still kind of attached like this, but yeah, it's going to be fun to figure it all out.
Oh yeah. And we're such in an age of technology where it's like, things can happen in a day. Like you can just figure it out in a day and, go forward from there. Try something new again the next day.
I think too that everybody's going to utilize this tool, this online platform a little bit more, just because they're going to be more. Because I don't know about you, Rick, but I was not very knowledgeable or intuit with this, and then all of a sudden this becomes how we function. So we had to learn real fast. I don't know about you, but I had to learn real fast.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Me being from the younger generation here, I know, like, I absolutely love it. Like, I FaceTime all my friends. Like, that's actually my preferred form of communication. I hate texting. But I think, like, what we're doing here and stuff is just going to be fantastic. Like, I think the kids are into it. They can figure it out. It's just, how can we all work together to make things happen?
And the thing that obviously there's nothing like being in person, but the Conn Selmer Institute, the fact that you guys are continuing with it, first of all, I think is a lifeline, because this is going to be a brave new world with a whole new gamut of questions. I know educators are trying to figure out, how do I do recruiting? How am I going to do marching band when I might not be able to get together with all of my students until August? And are we going to have a season, and all those fun things? So and anything that keeps people personally engaged and active with other human beings, social with other human beings. But, to know that somebody else is going through the same things, has the same questions, because, a lot of times you can get caught up in your own mind, and this is an opportunity. So, Rick, I'm going to pick your brain about when the day comes that we can actually leave our houses and gather together. Is it true that you can tour the Eastlake factory and the Elkhart faculty facility and see how these instruments are made?
Well, yes and no. I mean, what's happened right before the COVID-19 shutdown, we had received new guidance that we were discontinuing the plant tours for a short time. I'm not sure how related it was to this on the horizon, or because it had been such an interruption at a time when we were, in some cases, reconfiguring the factory floor in a couple of the facilities. So in Eastlake, where we build all of our student brasses and all of our background brasses for both marching and concert application, we bought several new machines and had to reconfigure the floor in there. So things were kind of torn up, and moving big things out and bigger things in. And it was just not a good time to bring people through. But we are working on content for our website that allows virtual tours of these facilities. Yeah, which is really kind of cool. As you know, we've had a lot of educators through over the years, and even some bands. And the requests just kept coming and coming and coming. So it was almost to the point where we were having like 3 or 4 groups through a week, whether they were individuals or larger groups. But we just had to kind of put that on the back burner for a while. But we're still shipping product. We understand there might be a product shortage as we come out of this, given a lot of supply chains that are more global now. But us being a primarily a USA manufacturer, our supply chains are pretty tight, and we're able to keep product moving pretty well. So I think when we come out on the other side of this, we're going to have plenty of product available. In fact, we're still shipping today. So if you need something, I mean, as long as we've got it in stock, which we're in a good inventory position on most items, you can get that stuff today. So I think I will continue to provide links to you for what we can do online. We're also building out several Google Classroom modules right now that are for dealers primarily, to get you up to speed on a lot of different products. And plus, there's going to be links to videos and sessions that you can send on to your customers. So one of the reasons I'm still here and not a furloughed individual is that we are feverishly building out content, not just for our daily noon chats with dealers, but to populate these Google Classrooms to give to you to then send out to your community as well. So again, just trying to keep everybody connected and talking to each other the best we can, right?
Right. And you guys this week have featured Conn Selmer artists at your noon conversations. And I believe those videos are being uploaded to the Conn Selmer YouTube. So if you can't make it at the noon webinar, you can watch those. And I know that for me, I just love getting to know where these all-star performers have come from, because so often you get their backstory. And I think it's a very relatable moment, not just for teachers or performers, but for students, because they go into how they started out, and they went through some of the same struggles that kids today go through. Somebody had to buy them an instrument, somebody had to find them an instrument. So the content has been really great. And could you tell us a little bit about the Conn Selmer's inventory program with schools?
Oh, yes. So this is something that's available to anyone. And Beth, I think you and I have worked on a couple of these with some of your schools. We have a cloud-based inventory system available for educators that you can assess the viability, for want of a better word, or the condition of a particular instrument. Plug all the data about that instrument, its serial number, the condition that it's in. We have a rubric that describes 4 different categories that are consistent with what we've found in the industry. And we can build out with this thing it helps you build a business case for seeking repair money, replacement money, any of the things that you would need to talk to a principal, superintendent, business manager about. Because a lot of times when you go, that you don't have a French horn that works very well anymore, or 2 French horns, or that you need 3 of them because you've got kids coming up. But when you go to make that case, without data, it's hard. So this inventory system helps give you data about the approximate purchase date of that instrument, how much it's depreciated. There's a depreciation schedule built into this, so that when you go forward, you can say, look, the average age of our inventory is, it was new in 1979, and the average life of that instrument is 20 years. So 20 years ago, we should have had all new instruments, and here we are today with everything duct taped and held together. So it's a really cool opportunity for you to get a handle on your inventory in a way that's more robust than just an Excel spreadsheet. You can manipulate that data to serve a number of different ends. You can sign the inventory out. You can track repairs on it. There's a lot of different things that you can do with that program. And that's something we do through our Division of Education, right? And Beth, you know how to get people hooked up with that, right?
I sure do. And Mike Campese just sent me the rubric, because I was like, well, what I heard about it, but I didn't know how knowledgeable, because, to be honest with you, all of us are experts on our particular instrument. I would go to Jen for flute information and Richard for low brass information. And so I wondered what that rubric was like, and I got it. And I'm going to share it with everybody at Brighton Music Center, because you don't have to be a repair tech. You don't have to have had years of experience like Richard has in seeing broken instruments walk through the door. It really is. It's just, if you have eyeballs, you can use this inventory. And I know that band directors, orchestra directors, they're people that are easily bored. So they're thinking about this time. What can I do with this time? What can I do with this time besides teaching? And one of the things they never have time to do is to go through and assess what they have, what they need, and how do I get from point A to point B. And I just think this inventory system's a great thing too. And now, correct me if I'm wrong, but Conn Selmer is funny in this respect. They have serial number records, correct?
Well, yeah. I mean, you can when you plug in the serial number, that and it doesn't matter whether it's a Conn Selmer instrument or any other instrument. We have hundreds of thousands of serial numbers in the database that will tell you what year approximately. Now, some things you got to spitball because they're just so old that nobody knows, right? I mean, everybody's seen the band room that's got the parts of an old King sousaphone back in the corner, or a Musser xylophone that's on its last leg, that was bought sometime in 1967 or something like that. And there's even older stuff. So some of it you got to kind of guess, but for the most part, the serial number will tell you when it was born, and that's what gives you the average age of your inventory when you go put it through there. And you're not going to know necessarily the purchase price of that instrument if it was 50 years ago, but you can approximate. But here, the assumption is, when you think about that in terms of the depreciation schedule, that an instrument bought 50 years ago is fully and utterly depreciated, and in most cases be well beyond its useful life.
Right.
And we wouldn't keep a school bus or a computer or any other piece of learning equipment or things related to the school that is that ancient and decrepit. So this again gives you the tools to say, here's why I need it. Yeah, it still kind of looks like a sousaphone, but it sure isn't going to perform like one.
Yeah.
Great. All right. Well, you know what? Let's go ahead and wrap up. Unless somebody else has something else they would like to add. Anybody?
I'd just like to say thanks for having me.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Rick.
No, thanks. You were our first manufacturer rep to be on, and I appreciate that you accepted our invitation. So
I'm honored. I always love my friends at Brighton Music, and I always like to see the way you serve your customers and take care of all the bands in the area. It's really a lot of fun to see, and anytime I can help, you know where to find me.
And I also think one of the big takeaways from this is if school is looking for a drum line, that Ludwig drums are probably going to be the only ones that are going to be available.
Yeah, and I tell you what, that gear is getting better and better and better. It is so good. In fact, one of the things I told you, Monroe was still working. We've been selling drum lines, and that's going to continue.
Well, Jen, I'm bad at this, but what are the do you know the name of the wraps? Because I know they just did a drum line, Conn Selmer did it, and the Ludwigs work with the wraps that company that
the
On-two wraps. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can use on them, and we also do custom finishes. So if somebody has a lot of money they want to spend because it's all hand done. I mean, we can do custom fades to match your uniform and all kinds of great custom work, because we do it down there in Monroe, North Carolina, the same place we make all the Ludwig outfit drums. So. And
I'm just going to make a plug. Everybody's saying that the stimulus money is coming from the federal government to stimulate United States businesses. So Conn Selmer got it going on.
Yeah, they do.
Hey, thanks for that. We're the last ones.
I know.
Yep.
One of our favorites. All right. So that's Coffee Conversations for what day is this? Is it Wednesday?
Wednesday, April 16th.
There you go.
Thursday.
So we'll see you again sometime. Thank you all for watching. Any questions, you know where to get us. You can email me at Richard at Bright Music Center. You can call the stores. You can do whatever you want. Thanks for joining in. We appreciate you so much. Have a great day.
Happy Thursday, everybody. It's Thursday.
Oh, is it Thursday?
It's Thursday.
She's right. It's Thursday.
Oh.
It's great.